Hello, thank you for joining me today. I've decided to get my old Citizen Promaster Skyhawk out of the cupboard and run through how to set the time on this watch. I know it can be seen as quite a technical piece, so let's get started. First of all, with what's on the dial. So, top left-hand side here, this dial, you've got your cell power, how charged the watch is. So you can see I'm on the second bar here, so my watch isn't very charged. It could do with some more light, but it has been away in the cupboard for a while. Underneath that, you've got USA, Europe and Japan. This is referring to 3 out of the 4 radio towers that Citizen use around the world. It is missing China. Back when this watch was created, they didn't have access, I believe, to the Chinese tower. So therefore, the radio-controlled functionality of this watch will not work in China, but it will work in USA, Europe and Japan. Okay, central dial, universal time. Universal time is a time that pilots use to communicate. If you're flying through multiple time zones, the time will obviously change, and for communication that's a problem. So to stay consistent, pilots communicate using universal time. You can see it's in a 24-hour format. This right-hand dial here is another 24-hour clock, but this is for your big hands. Are they morning or afternoon? Whatever's on the left-hand side here is the time on the hands, so I've got London on the hands. Whatever's on the right-hand side, so I've got UTC, Universal Time again, is displayed in digital form. So I've got Universal Time here, as well as here. And then you've got your mode or feature dial, with all the features that are available on the watch. So if I wanted to change the time in London, you need to get the time you want to change, first of all, onto the right-hand side. So I need to get London from here onto here. There's 2 ways of doing it. First of all, make sure time is selected on your feature dial. That's generally where the hand should be, always really on that dial, unless you're using another feature. So pull out the crown 1 click, make sure time is selected. There we are, you can see it changing. Time is selected, right. With the crown out 1 click, I can use the top or bottom push button and find London. I will change the cities on here. There we are, London's just above UTC. But if I keep going, Paris, Rome, Berlin, Madrid, there's 43 cities in here, or times I should say, because one is UTC. Press the bottom push button, scroll back through them. Okay, there's London. So now I could change the time because it's on the right hand side, but I want to show you another way of doing it. Let's put it back to UTC, crown it. Okay, if you've got London on the left, you can quickly swap it over to the right hand side by pulling out the crown 1 click, both push buttons in at the same time, and it swaps over. There we are, that's a quicker way of getting London onto the right hand side. So let's change the time now we have London there. Pull out the crown all the way. The first thing to flash is SMT, summertime. Is it on or off? Have the clocks gone forward, yes or no? If the clocks haven't gone forward and we're in winter time, it stays off, but if we're in summertime, you press the bottom push button, turn it on, and as you can see it's changed, it's gone forward an hour. If we're in winter time, press the bottom button, turns it off. As you can see, we've gone back an hour. Press the top push button to move on to the next thing to change. Crown is still out all the way. Seconds are flashing. To reset the seconds, press the bottom push button. Perhaps if you want to sync your watch to the exact time without using the radio controlled functionality, that's what that's useful for. Top button moves you on. Minutes are flashing. To change the minutes, use the crown. Turn the crown either way, and you can see the minutes changing. If I whiz my finger down the crown, like that, I'll roll it. It takes off, and it's just a quicker way of setting the time, I suppose, the minutes. Turn the crown and it stops. Top button moves you on. Hours are flashing. Again, turn the crown to change your hours to how you want them to be. Top button moves you on again. Do you want to display the time as a 12 or 24-hour clock? I always prefer 24 hours. I think it's just easier. But if you want to change that, press the bottom push button. Okay, I'm pressing it again because I want it on 24. Top button takes you back to the beginning. And there we are. If you're happy you've changed the time, you just put the crown in all the way. But just to show you again, top push button scrolls you through each section you want to change, and you either change it by using the bottom button, or if it's the hours or minutes, you turn the crown. Okay, but I'm happy I've set the time, so I'm going to put the crown in all the way. Now, what I need to do, you have to wait a moment because I've changed London. Whatever time I've got on the hands must also change, of course, so I need to wait for the hands to spin round and settle. After they've settled, I'd then wait for the top UTC dial to spin round and settle. So let's wait for that. Okay, so now everything's settled. I want to get London back onto the hands, so crown out one click, both push buttons in, and there we are. And so that's how you change the time on a Citizen Skyhawk Movement U600. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. There'll be more content coming soon.